Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from one that shows that for acts like 50 Cent in the hip-hop space, there's no such thing as New Year, New Me.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It is pretty much business as usual as 50 continues to move pieces on his chessboard, and rappers like Jim Jones and Papoose continue to get dragged even though the year has changed. And we even got to hear from 50 about his biggest moment in 2025.
What was your biggest moment in 2025?
My biggest moment in 2025? Check I received. I almost fell over. It's a big one, baby. But you know, it had nothing to do with none of the stuff that you saw. It was an investment, but in AI.
All right, so what's the biggest moment for 2026 gonna be for you?
Oh, 2026, my studios will be up and running in Shreveport. I'm gonna get it going.
And will you get an Oscar nom for The Reckoning in 2026?
Oscar nom?
Yeah.
Do they? I don't think black people.
And if you were with us a few weeks ago, you remember that Snoop's most viral post ever on social media, as far as we know, turned out to be this photo, an AI-generated photo that placed the hip-hop legends in a Southeast Asia setting, and this turned Facebook upside down, and Snoop looks to have pretty much made this his brand moving forward. That sparked some wild theories, and by popular demand, at the latter part of the video, we're gonna clear up the misconceptions related to the fallout between Billboard US and YouTube, as starting on the 16th of January, YouTube views and streams will no longer be included in Billboard's US charts, and we'll expand on how this affects rappers like Eminem and NBA Youngboy who perform well on YouTube, especially YB, since while Eminem is well-rounded across streaming platforms, a bulk of YB's streams come from YouTube.
As we sit here, conspirators are plotting our downfall.
And starting with 50 Cent, if you recall, he posted about how T.I. looks to be out of his depth by venturing into stand-up comedy, and 50 wasn't done. He reposted this video.
Ayo, Fifth, if you think that was bad, look at this shit. Went to the Barclays to a comedy show, Tip was there, and they violated, booed the shit out of him.
I'ma tell you why I say that. Just like this, I'ma give you. I respect that. I'ma give you. If you see your favorite motherfucking celebrity, do yourself, do me, and the celebrity a favor. Before you go approach these people, think about what the fuck you gonna say. You understand what I'm saying? I'ma tell you what happens. Imagine you sitting down with my family.
Niggas up there in the nosebleed violating.
And I see a motherfucker in my periphery doing shit like this.
Nah, they violating.
Nobody wins them all.
And 50 added the caption, "Oh, I didn't know it was going like this, bro," shrugs emoji. "Why he think he can do that ish, LOL, laughing emoji." And T.I. is going through a stage that we shouldn't know about, as many legendary comedians today bombed early on stage. But since T.I. was already established before venturing into comedy, now we're gonna see his bombs every step of the way, and he's gonna be a case study regardless of how this turns out in the future. If he makes it,
well, this is how you do it.
You know, for future generations.
or if he fails.
This is not how we do things.
You know, for future generations.
No escape.
And 50 wasn't done. He reposted this snippet.
You and 50 got a beef or something, man? Because I seen a post today where they were saying that you were supposed to be in, I guess one of the power, what's the name? I guess two of the actors on the show said that you were actually supposed to be on the show, and then they replaced you with another man, and they weren't expecting it or something.
No, that's not true. 50 and I, we were executive producers on a different show outside of the Power universe. But nah, man, me and 50 cool. I'm the only one who's not offended by his brass approach, and he's not offended by mine. So, you know, we play rough, but we ain't no issue. It's a mutual respect there.
And 50 added the caption, Everybody's a podcaster, eyes emoji, that fool was doing real estate, and that's 50 Cent cooking the podcaster in the clip, not T.I. And speaking on everyone becoming a podcaster, if you recall, 50 Cent exposed the Let's Rap About It podcast for being squatters. And for those who don't know, this is Jim Jones, Mano, Fabulous, and Dave East who got into it with 50 Cent after they claimed on the podcast that 50 executive producing a documentary on Diddy was wrong.
So do you think that it's wrong or not?
I think it's wrong. I'm not with it either. I think that...
I'm not with it. Do we all agree that it's wrong? Thumbs down for that shit?
And they made it seem like 50 was this devil behind Diddy's ear instructing him to allegedly destroy dozens of lives for over 3 decades and counting. And we got an update on this after things got heated between Cameron and Jim Jones on IG. And of course, 50 got involved when they were going at it after Cameron built on what 50 exposed about the Let's Rap About It podcast. Cameron posted this aimed at Jim Jones. How are you worried about me when your heat off and rent due? And they started duking it out in the replies, as you can see in these screenshots. And at first, 50 posted this, your heat off and rent due, and added a caption, damn, I hope you can all chip in and get the heat back on. And 50 amplified these exchanges on his page of Cameron pointing out that Jim Jones is struggling with rent and bills, and 50 added the caption, laughing emoji, damn, Jim mad with all this pressure. I hope he's alright. Cam is laughing at him, lol. Maybe they can all start a fire and stand around it. And this man 50 Cent just casually dropped a joke that could get you cancelled. And 50 wasn't done with Jim Jones. He posted this clip and pay attention to the wins.
Got his plate. You're about to tap in.
I'm about to tap in.
Yes, I need the honest review.
I got collard green juice going down my head.
Come on, talk to me. How's the cornbread? Thank you, sir. Trust me, how's your cornbread? Thank you.
And buying a radiator isn't the issue. Paying the monthly bill is. And 50 added the caption, damn it man, laughing emoji, it is cold as a snitch over there, huh? F it, you cool, lol. And 50 has mastered this ish. The wind sounds got me rolling. The wind sounds got me rolling, laughing emojis. And even Papoose isn't safe. 50 reposted this snippet. Papoose drops heat. Is that a shot at 50 Cent?
Dogg. People who don't know hip-hop, they gon' say this beat sound dated, but they don't know this shit that we had to go through to make it. They don't know timeless music. Dogg. People who don't know hip-hop, they gon' say this beat sound dated, but they don't know this shit that we had to go through to make it. They don't know timeless music is forever gonna be dangerous, while all them one-hit wonders come and go cause they wankers. Studio therapy wasn't nothing to play with. They don't know how many hours we spent down in that basement. Seen others make it out, for them we celebrated. Knew they wasn't coming back, but us still had to be patient. Trying to roll head cracks, kept rolling aces. Fuck it, rob the dice game, strip everybody naked.
And 50 added the caption, what the F? I can get jiggy with this ish, laughing emoji, lol, y'all trash. Make one song that can sell, and I'll come play. Y'all still trying to sell music, right?
Bills don't pay themselves, son.
And while this got the timeline in tears, according to reports, 50 fell for misinformation with this one, as that snippet is reportedly old and had nothing to do with 50 when it dropped, although 50's point stands based on the context of what's been going down, and like he said, he can
get jiggy with it.
And Snoop Dogg discovering the potential of what you could achieve by using AI to drive engagement has become a problem. He's been running loose with these photos, and this reaction got me rolling. I'm actually glad to see Marshall wearing other stuff besides his normal hoodie and joggers. Makes you have a little more color.
Oh my God.
and users on Reddit have been going off. I'm convinced Snoop believes these pictures of him and M are real, and some have expanded. Man, honestly, he stays too stoned to not believe AI, laughing my freaking bum off. And perhaps this is true about Snoop on Facebook. He's gone full Facebook grandpa. And for Billboard versus YouTube, that's been on over the last couple of days since YouTube announced its decision to withdraw its streaming data due to how Billboard weighs YouTube ad-supported streams as inferior. And YouTube wants Billboard to put some respect on its streams. Ad-supported streams and paid subscription streams should be counted equally. And if you don't know, this is how it is already done by the RIAA in the United States. Streams are equal, and thanks to this dispute, Billboard and YouTube are having a standoff right now to see who folds first. And according to reports, Billboard hopes for a resolution in the near future, as this would have a more heavy impact on certain genres like K-pop and even certain artists. And check out this report, for instance. YouTube views will no longer count towards the Billboard charts starting this month. Fans are calling it the Young Boy rule, as he averaged at least 30 million views per week. Eyes emoji. And calling it the Young Boy rule is certainly news to me, since Eminem's been #1 on YouTube for years. But I get it in this context, as YB's overall streams in the US mostly come from YouTube. Unlike Eminem, who's top 5 for rappers on pretty much every streaming platform globally. So for top rappers, this affects YB more than Eminem on the Billboard charts.
Young boy. He's not gonna like this.
And right now, it is a lot of ignorant takes in the replies, and the media is to blame for the most part due to how this has been reported by most outlets. And I had to put on my cape to save the day. Because this changes nothing when it comes to tracking real equivalent sales in the United States that's used to update certifications, since the RIAA, since the inclusion of streams, have always weighed the streams equally, ad-supported or paid subscriptions, unlike Billboard. And YouTube is trying to pressure Billboard to make changes that reflect what the RIAA has been doing all along. Now, who will fold first? That's the important question. And I'd add that K-pop fans don't play around, so I'd put my money on Billboard folding before YouTube. But what are your thoughts? And that will be all for today. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button if you haven't, and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.